Hello, everybody. Paul Walsh here, once again with Michael Dobbs, talking about how the weather is going to impact consumer behavior, how the weather does impact consumer behavior, and how retailers and CPG companies can leverage that information to optimize their business. Today's an interesting case in that we actually have a hurricane that's bearing down on Florida. It's Hurricane Isaias. As we speak, the storm is actually impacting Florida, and it's the storm forecast that's driving the behavior and driving the action all across Florida right now. So it's a great example of how important it is to understand from an analytical perspective how this external information, in this case, the weather forecast, is shaping consumer behavior. And with that, I'll turn it over to Mike to talk a little bit about some of the tactics or the strategies to take advantage of that.
Thanks, Paul. So how does this affect consumer behavior? What happens is consumers hear that a storm is coming, and that influences their behavior. They're going to go out and they're going to make specific purchases. And we'll talk about the types of purchases that they'll make. But because of this, retailers have a certain amount of time to make changes to their plan. We have about a 15-day time period where we get a cone of certainty, a cone where we're certain that if a city is inside that cone, consumers are going to start going out and they're going to start making purchases, even if 15 days later, the hurricane ends up veering in a slightly different direction. So what types of changes can retailers make? Well, they change the types of inventory that go out, and they might make some changes to advertising as well. Things that tend to sell really well pre-hurricane are things like bottled water, where people need it on a regular basis anyway. Hurricanes hit during the summer. And so water is going to be a huge purchase. Roaster chicken. People don't want to take time to make a meal when they've got everything else going on. And so we see huge demand for roasted chicken. Pop-Tarts, huge shelf life. People like eating them as a quick snack. So those types of items tend to fly right off the shelf. Batteries, where obviously people are going to stock up on batteries, but it's not just that they're batteries, but it's the type of batteries, right? Most flashlights are D-cell. Some are C-cell. And so you see a huge skew towards these type of flashlight batteries. And of course, things like gas, where people want to make sure that their cars are stocked up. So this is something that we see on a regular basis when we see a hurricane hit during the summer and fall, when we see a huge snowstorm hit during the winter. We see huge skews in inventory and in sales because of that. If you've got any questions about how this could affect your business and how we could help, Paul and I would love to speak with you. Please feel free to reach out. Thank you so much.